Hi everybody. Thank you for joining us for this launch of Arista Group Segmentation. Arista is really excited about a major change in the way the networking industry works. In the past, security has always been kind of a bolt-on, sort of a second thought, that you first build a network and then you're expected to somehow secure that network by adding products around the edges, by configuring some primitive mechanisms like packet filters and access lists, but it's always sort of secondary to connectivity. This is changing. Security more and more is deeply integrated into networking products. Arista's Wi-Fi, for example, has the world's leading wireless intrusion protection system. And Arista's hardware switches contain support for cryptography, MACsec, IPsec, full line rate in hardware. And of course, there's more to security than just encryption. Arista's developed a model for this, the Arista Zero Trust model. In Arista Zero Trust, we stop trusting endpoints simply based on their address or based on how they're connected into the network. It's not enough to join the VPN. It's not enough to associate with an access point. Zero Trust requires three things. First, that you're able to identify who is the application, who is the user, which device is it, what software is that device running, is that software up to date, are all the security patches installed? All of that sort of situational awareness about who is trying to use what device to use the network for what purpose is the first step. The second step of Arista Zero Trust is segmentation. And segmentation means preventing things from communicating that aren't supposed to communicate. And the third piece of Arista Zero Trust is ongoing network detection and response, making sure that you're always watching, that you're always aware of what's happening in the network. And if something happens that's not supposed to be happening, you are first alerted of that, and second, have all of the data, all of the logs, all of the records that you need to understand exactly who did what, to what, when, and what's going on, and how are you going to make it stop. So the middle piece is what we're going to focus on here today, which is segmentation. And segmentation itself has many components. Arista's macro segmentation has modes to work with firewalls, has modes to work with virtualization systems, but today we're going to focus on macro segmentation groups. Group segmentation is all about identifying the endpoints, mapping those endpoints into segments, defining a segmentation policy that governs under what conditions can a device in one segment communicate with a device in another segment, and then enforcing that across the network from campus to the campus spline, to the data center, the wide area network, and even into the cloud. Arista Group Segmentation achieves all of those things without any proprietary packet headers, any proprietary forwarding rules or logic. It's all based on open standards. It interoperates fully and completely with existing networks, existing switches. Nothing about the Arista macro segmentation groups requires that you buy switches from just one vendor across your whole infrastructure. It identifies endpoints based on IP address, a completely standard mechanism, and then enforces group-to-group communication rules using scalable hardware techniques, not causing TCAM explosion or TCAM bloat. We figured out ways of using existing hardware tables intended for IP routing and repurposing those tables to accomplish group segmentation. I hope that you're as excited as I am about this change in trend, because I think integrating security into the network enables us to provide solutions to you that let you build a secure environment from the ground up, fully integrated, rather than bolting on pieces parts on the sides. Thank you very much for listening.